happens. Trademarks is a kind of like pitfall. Even sometimes what happens is we have seen different people coming up with a genuine logo, but somehow it looks similar to another entity on the internet. Of course, there are certain ways to avoid those kind of issues and make sure you're not penalized by Zillion Design QC team. We will talk about a few other things, and probably by the end, I will let you guys know how would you be able to verify that your logo is 100% genuine and it's not being used by any other party or individual, or it's not on the internet. Moving on, trademark is can be written in a different format, so don't be confused whether it's trademark, trade, space mark. Don't worry about that one. But it sounds the same thing. It's the same kind of thing. It could be a design, could be sign, could be any kind of expression that identifies any kind of services, any kind of products, and that differs from one product to another one. Primarily, one of the big questions comes in when there are kind of like visual confusions between two different symbols. So if, in short, if two symbols or two different companies have the brand mark that looks similar, and there is a confusion to identify which one belongs to which company, that's where the question mark comes up. So primarily when you talk from, I had a chance to read some blogs by lawyers as well. They explain it in a very simple way. If there is a kind of visual confusion, or secondly, if there is a confusion in the meanings, they still consider it as a trademark issue. So again, the second thing is trade doesn't really mean that it belongs to the companies who does the trading business only, but there are services-based businesses as well, like Logo Design Guru. We don't do trades. We are a service-oriented company. There could be another company providing financial services, could be another company providing marketing services, and so on. So it caters with all sort of businesses. There is no if and buts. No matter whatever the kind of company is, it deals with the same. One more thing is trademark. When you sign up with a trademark, there are different policies by different countries out there. But since primarily we work in the USA, so mainly we will be talking about the US market and everything. So one of the important thing is once you trademark, you definitely have to pay the fee every year to keep that rights with you. What happened is once one of my clients, and they were having some kind of problem, and they said they definitely need to renew the trademark, otherwise they will lose it. So simply, as long as you keep the fee, you can keep the trademark symbol. Now, some of the famous cases we can talk about are, the first one is Sweat Drovio versus Unilever. However, this case has not been officially launched, but it's a good idea to share these kind of symbols together. They simply, copied the same concept, and instead of U, there is a kind of like plus sign. They added all those similar kind of items in there. Of course, we all know Unilever is a big company. It's a Fortune 500, 700 company, and everyone knows what kind of logo do they have. So copying is such kind of big company's logo. It's definitely, it's a blatant copy. Second one is number 7. Again, as we talked in the beginning, the visual confusion. If you're confused about the visuals, you wouldn't really be able to identify which logo belongs to which company. Another one is Essex Bank. Again, just a tiny little change, and there you go. Same goes with the Starbucks. Of course, if you do some research on internet, you will find a lot of logos similar to Starbucks as well. This is one of the examples that I copied. A lot of people that try different things. Just Google it and you will find at least 10, 20 different logos that have been copied from the Starbucks logo. Another guy just simply copied the Scottish Art Council logo, and there you go. It's not just a simple color change, and boom, there you go. Why these kind of things happen? You could go through other examples as well. Why these kind of things happen? Because there are two main reasons that I understood over time. The first thing is either it's intentional, designer wants to make money, They want to just get something done and they want to move on with it. The second thing is they might have come up with their own idea, but before presenting it to the client, they have not checked the internet to make sure that whatever they have produced is genuine or has it been copied or used by someone else. So moving on to the next one is that we need to understand the difference between the trademark and copyright first. Copyright deals with, you know, mostly the kind of like art. It could be a song, it could be a novel, it could be you know, any kind of you know, literature. It could be anything, and you definitely don't need to have the rights. You can just, the moment, for example, I'm a photographer, I took a lovely picture, that's mine by default. It's, I have the copyright for that one as well. However, I can go on and register, but of course I'm a photographer, I take thousands of pictures every day. I can't just go on and, but you know, put in so much money paying you know, those guys to register or copyright protect each and every picture. So the moment I produce something, I have 100% right over that thing. As I said, the trademark belongs to the businesses. They represent the brand name, brand identity, and the copyright is you know, the production that's being done under the brand. Um, some of the examples are, for example, one of this picture that was very famous when Obama was elected as a president. We can clearly see that this one of the picture was taken by one of the photographer, and then designer, he just simply illustrated this picture in a different manner. And this case was kind of like one of the exemplary case where designers need to understand that they cannot pull out any of the picture and then draw based on the same thing. This is going to be infringing, you know, one's copyright issues. Second issue, you see there are like there's a couple with a lot of puppies. One of the guy, they copied it and then they were sued. So the court decided that, okay, this is infringement, and they were penalized. Similarly, you guys can see other two examples as well. It's an art. Imagine if any of you guys or any of the designers, they're just simply trying to illustrate any of the picture that they have copied from whatever source. Call it a Shutterstock, call it a ThinkStock, call it a Google, but it does not belong to them. They don't have the right. So if you are trying to illustrate any of the pictures like this, it means you're basically, you know, creating an issue. Now the third thing is it's better to understand those things first, the definitions and everything, so that you guys do have a better idea of which exactly is the sector that you guys need to work with. This is patents. Patents basically work with you know, the design of primarily the machines or some kind of industrial processes or any of the chemical compositions. It of course has nothing to do with you guys, but just wanted to make sure I quickly explain what this is, because there are three types of intellectual property rights, and you can have the patent for up to 15 and 20 years after you know, you are issued with the rights. Now, one of the famous case where Telefax sued KSR International, this is the design that I added here. This is some kind of vehicle's gas paddle that, you know, do some kind of you know, process once pressed or so on. So what happened is these guys literally copied the same exact frame, same exact, you know, kind of drawing and everything, and they were sued. And eventually the Telefax won the case because it was proven that this was their design. And the graph down there, you can see, you know, a lot of people, they're, you know, filing cases for the patents as well. If you may go to the internet, you could definitely find country-wise listings, how many countries are filing how many patents and so on. Similarly, you can find the trademark stuff as well. So that's the main definition of trademark, copyright, and the patents. Moving forward, sometime we have seen, you know, people, they copy you know, free stuff from internet and they just post it on. This particular stuff is belongs to the web designers. We have seen a lot of designers using different kind of icons. Sometimes they do produce you know, their own icons, but sometimes we see that they just simply you know, sorry, let me go back. Okay. Sometimes they simply go on and copy from Google or any of the free vector based website where they can go and download those things, but they need to make sure they read through all the terms and conditions before they start using those kind of files. One of the important things that they will find over there is three different kind of policies. The first one is the public domain. Public domain means basically sharing the work, and it's free to use by anyone without any kind of restrictions. Um, that is the one that they need to seek for. If there's some kind of different kind of verbiage there, for example, if they find Creative Commons or fair use or something like this, they definitely need to refrain, because Creative Commons mostly refers to that the owner of that particular icon would like his credentials to be mentioned wherever you guys are looking forward to use, on the web, on the brochure, wherever. And the third one is a fair use policy. You definitely don't need to go on and ask for the permission to use it. This basically caters not just with icons, but there are a lot of other things, for example, images, and especially the fonts as well. We had a chance to work with some designers who had produced different kind of fonts, and they shared the exclusive rights with us so that we could go on and use it. So again, when you intend to go to any of the royalty-free pictures, icons, or anything, you need to make sure you double check their policy about that particular icon, image, or font, and you need to make sure that it's either a fair use. It should say either fair use, or should say it's for the public domain. If those two are there, you can definitely go on, copy, and use it. If it has a Creative Commons listed there, then you guys need to refrain from using those, because you won't be able to publish the credits on a user's website. It's not possible, because clients are not going to let you do this. So it's better to avoid it. Now, some of the issues that we had recently identified, and on the left-hand side, this is the logo that was produced by a designer, and on the right-hand side, you could see, for example, the teal X in a circle, Zentech. This was produced by one of the designer, and then we figured it out from Shutterstock that they already have a similar kind of design, so we took it down. Another one with the X. However, this designer tried to manipulate this design, but not to the level where we could just let it go. If you could probably put in some more efforts, make it more different. Because as we said, if there is a kind of like confusion in the brand, then definitely that's a problem. We still see a confusion here. This is one of the reasons why we took it down. Now the third one on the second row, SA. That one, it's a simple copy and paste kind of thing. Just change the colors and there you go. Of course, one of the things that really gives us a better idea that these kind of things only happen because of two reasons. Either this was intentional, or he might have created this genuinely, but he did not check his artwork whether it's already being produced by someone else or not. And that's the problem that we see. The last one is ENH. Of course, these kind of designs, we are definitely looking forward to ban these kind of designs and put them in overdone designs, because these really give a lot of damage, not just to us, but to the designer and to the clients as well. Because it doesn't really make any sense having so many similar kind of logos. I will just quickly go over a few more examples as well. This logo, this guy, whoever this designer was, he just simply copied and pasted and just added the name at the bottom, not even changed the colors, did not put in any kind of efforts to do anything with this design. However, we agree as a logo designers that you definitely need to take a look at a lot of different logos just to make sure that you understand and get the inspiration from different people, try and understand the mind, try and understand the industry type, and try and understand the creative brief. But it does not really mean, you can copy, you can put it there, and there you go, boom, we have done with that. People with these kind of intentions, they somehow, we get to them, and they get banned. Because if we see anyone putting in a lot of efforts, if any of the designers submitted different designs in, let's say, 100 contests or so on, we see that effort, and we know that, okay, this was he's a general designer and he would not get those kind of things done. And once in a blue moon, of course, there is a room for identical logos as well. For example, if there are 10 or 20 different people following up with the same brief, there is a chance that they might come up with similar kind of logos. So we do have a room for that as well, but in such cases, as you can see on the screen, where the designer just copied it, not even a single effort to try and come up with something, bring it to the second level. They just copied, added the names, and there you go. Again, the same kind of logo with the letter-based logos. These are growing problems that we see, and as I said, we're definitely going to be banning those logos from entering into any of the contests. Quickly going over, a few more logos here. As you can see, the first one is S. Again, whoever produced this, you should have double check on the internet to make sure it's not there. The second one with this is kind of like a Jeep for the off-roading. It's not, again, copy and paste. Nothing has been changed. It did not even, the idea I think the designer had in mind is to just copy, put the name there, and there you go. However, I believe this was such a lovely illustration, and if he wanted to take an inspiration, he could probably do much better than what has already been done on Shutterstock. But there is a, Will was not there, I believe. Now another logo, Eppin, it was already there. And the last one, it was already there as well. It belongs to Shutterstock. So I think a lot of illustrations are there on the Shutterstock, and they're indexed well as well. So when you Google something, the Shutterstock and Getty Images and those kind of websites comes up, and there you go, boom, copy and paste. If you want to take an inspiration, we will let you know how. If you want to copy, then of course the problem is we wouldn't let you guys work. Simple. Now, some of the logos here do have, a wonderful meaning. For example, we all have seen FedEx logo and Burger King and everything. One of the important things is they have a unique appearance. For example, the FedEx logo, they have a wonderful definition as well. For example, this purple defines the night time, and orange defines the daytime. So it means they offer their services 24/7, and there is a small arrow between E and X that represent the pace, or the speed of the delivery or speed of their turnaround time. So this logo looks similar. This logo looks simple, but it has its meanings that defines the type of work that these guys do. Similarly, the Burger King, whoever designed this logo, it's very simple, it's unique, and it really explains a lot of things. This logo can only be used with the symbol and the the font. If you take out the font or the symbol, then there's a problem. It's not going to be giving you complete meanings. Moving on to a few of the other conceptual logos. Look at the simplicity. How simple are they? Look at the amount of colors that have been used. Just one. But it's just that it really, it's a conceptual idea, and it's so clear that by looking at the logo, you're just reading the words, but those words explain the meaning as well. For example, the first one is wrong, that the R has been flipped because the idea is wrong. Freedom, a part of the M has been cropped away, and there's a bird that's flying. When we talk about the bird means freedom. Now the counter current, again, there are 4 arrows that you guys see, but there's one arrow in the middle in a negative space going backward. That explains the meaning of this whole company. And one of my all-time favorite logo, Spartan. Whoever did this, it really did a lovely job as well. It's a golf club. If you may see, this guy is hitting, with a club. At the same time, it's making a face of complete, kind of like night. So this really embeds the two ideas together really, really nicely. Other logos that I really like, The first one is zip. By looking at this logo, it really gives you a much better idea. Not too many colors, no gradients, no drop shadows, nothing. It's a simple, plain black color on a gray background, easy to print as well. Similar is the case with the time. Only added a colon. Of course, it might have taken this guy probably 10 hours, I don't know, but end of the day, it's a very simple logo, very economical to use. You can change the background, whatever background you can print on, it's going to work. Again, third logo in first row, it's killed. How nicely, the only thing he did is the eye, he just, changed the direction, and it explains everything. And talk more, just added a quote marks, to give it a whole meaning to this logo. Now, these are the kind of logos that are partially different, same but partially different as well, because these logos can be used on a various different, various kind of, fashions. For example, if you're running some kind of campaigns, you can convert those logos specific to that campaign. For example, if there is a Christmas, you can easily change that logo. However, making sure the overall shape and size and everything remains the same. If there's Thanksgiving Day or something, you could definitely change and manipulate those logos for the time being to utilize those things. Moving on to another lovely logo. It's again very simple. LinkedIn. Um, Look how the in has been added within the box. Giving in the idea of become a part of the community. That's what it basically refers to. And again, these kind of logos have a minimum colors, and you could use those on various different kind of backgrounds as well. Here you can see these logos are very simple. They have used the fonts, but those are again memorable as well. They talk about the brand name. The colors are simple. But of course, these are really memorable logos, and these were really too good. Now, going back to the trademark process, how this thing really works. For example, in case of any sort of like infringement, there is a process that they have to follow in order to make sure. The first thing happen is if the trademark violation has been done, you get a letter from a lawyer or attorney telling you that this has been infringed. The first thing is, if you want to roll back, you can do it. This is just kind of like a warning. Of course, this is terrible for a person who receives that kind of letter, because he has the logo done, he paid a lot of money, then he had to do the stationery, he has to pay for the printing as well, he needs to move on and get a lot of other marketing things done, and now his logo is in the market. Imagine if it's a product-based logo. Let's say, for example, this guy is selling the chocolates or the biscuits or anything. Imagine how many copies for the packaging have been printed. Probably he spent thousands of dollars to get that thing done. And afterward, if he receives a letter, what would happen to that guy? He will definitely go crazy. And the guy who produced this logo, he's the one who he's going to be asking questions. So when it's designer's responsibility to keep those kind of things in mind, that one mistake and that guy might end up paying a huge sum of money, a really huge sum of money to in order to get rid of that issue. The second step involves when if you do not respond to the lawyer's letter or something like this, the second step goes to the court. The court sends a letter to the person who violates the trademark, and they tell them you are unlawfully using this symbol and you need to stop using this. The third thing comes up when monetary damages. This one is really hard. If the company who originally owns the idea is big company, they could definitely make an example out of you if you have unlawfully used a logo. They're not just going to be suing you. They will also be double checking their damages as well. For example, if your logo is similar to mine, there is a chance that a lot of people might have bought your product instead of mine. So they will be giving you a huge list of that how much damage they have suffered in a year or 6 months because of the similar branding. Then you might end up paying for that as well. So it could be thousands of dollars to like millions of dollars as well. It depends on the size of the company. And not just it, if I'm suing on you and I win the case, you have to pay for all the charges and everything that my attorney is going to be charging me. So end of the day, if anyone stuck into violating a trademark, he has to go through with a lot of agony and pain and money and losses and everything, and probably a lot of people might end up minding their businesses as well. So year of their efforts would be jeopardized. They would be nowhere. So just a small mistake by a designer, not double checking the work or ripping off another's work, would not stop there. It will ruin the whole business. So whenever you submit any of the design, just keep this thing in mind that your actions can definitely harm other one's entire business. So this is definitely on you, and it's your responsibility because clients trust you, clients trust your judgment, clients trust your creativity as well. So don't break that trust. Make sure that clients get the genuine artwork. Now, of course, we have over the time, we learned a lot of different things, and over the time we've been doing, the research, and based on that, we came up with the idea that the guys who are going to be, infringing those trademarks and so on, we are definitely going to be permanently banning those from our system. Reason being is it's not just the reputation of individual, it's a reputation of the company that goes on stake. So the kind of work environment that we are working in, allow us to make sure we keep our working environment clean, and make sure that our clients don't lose the trust as well. Because once these kind of thing happens to any of the client, they don't come back to us again, because they get this idea that, okay, this industry type of this might have a problem. So definitely we need to really go hard on those guys who are creating any kind of problem. So the easiest way to make sure not let them work with the Zillion Design or Logo Design Group anymore. We have different kind of policies. We have a separate page that talks about all of those policies, but I thought it's better that we should do that as well. For example, there are two different penalties that we have in the system. The first one is the warning. The second one is the TM. Warning is assigned based on different kind of reasons. For example, there are huge guidelines for the designers that we have, with all the question and answer sessions and FAQs and how this whole system works. So designers need to make sure, especially the new designers, they need to make sure when they sign up, they need to read through all the details to understand what they need to follow, what not to. So if anyone found not following the policies, of course, they will be warned verbally through emails, and if things are not working well, we're definitely going to be putting in a warning number in their profile that will stay there. If the designer is doing derivative designs, meaning that, for example, sometime clients unveiled the project and you can see others' designs as well. So what we have seen is any of the design with the higher reviews, rankings, or the star rating, a lot of people, they start following the same kind of designs. This is definitely not something that we will allow, because that designer did put in a lot of efforts. He understood the CB, he understood what client wants, and he came up with his idea. You're not allowed to copy his idea because it exclusively belongs to that guy. If you want, you can definitely get an inspiration to some level and try and produce even better logo, but don't work on the same lines this designer is working. Previously, we also have seen where a lot of designers, in order to prove their point, what they used to do is they used to, make a fake trademark report by, creating a derivative of the same design and uploading it anywhere on the website, and then sending us the link that, look, this design looks similar to that one. So we understand these kind of things. As I said, over the time, we have done a lot of different practices, and it's easy for us to identify whether this report is genuine or it has been crafted, just to make sure that other designer gets penalized. It's kind of vendetta that happened on the zillion designs in the past. Um, wrong software or application. However, we are not too strict with that one, but we encourage people to send us the standard formats. In the past, we have seen people sending us the CorelDRAW files and freehand files as well. Of course, freehand is still part of the Adobe now, but we need to double check what's is the kind of format that's being used by other people, especially the printers and web designers and so on. So we prefer sticking to the Adobe Illustrator because that's one of the main softwares that we really, really think that it has everything one requires to work with. Um, Another issue is a lot of designers do have different kind of profiles and they advertise their business as well. For example, they make clients go to their websites and get the rest of the work done there. So they want to take away the clients. Of course, this is a bad habit. It should not be that way. It's ethically wrong. It's morally it's wrong. Of course, you guys have been allowed to work on the Zillion Design platform, and you could just go on and do it. If you win the contest, money is all yours. And another last thing that why you may get the warning is, sometimes designers submit the same design is in multiple active projects to gain more visibility and more chances of winning. This is absolutely not allowed because there is a chance that both the clients might end up picking the same symbol. Then what would happen? Both cannot keep the same branding. So that's one of the problems, which is the reason why we don't allow users to submit one designs into the multiple contests. How we ban and suspend the designers. We are definitely going to be revising those policies soon. So I will be working with management to see what best we can do. Of course, all the designers who are genuine, they definitely have nothing to fear about. But those guys who have the intention to do something wrong with the system and so on, of course, those are the ones who are going to be in our radar all the time, and they're not going to be escaping with anything. So the idea is that if a designer receives up to 3 warnings, he will be banned for 3 to 7 days. And also it depends on what kind of issues they have caused, may also result in a permanent ban as well. But for the trademark, if a person receives a trademark and he has less than 10 wins, he can be suspended. More than 10 wins, then he can be suspended for 3 to 7 days. But a designer who has less than 10 wins will be permanently banned. We have this classifications because there is like a senior designer and a junior designer. If a guy who signs up and the moment he signs up he starts copying others' logos, then definitely he has no room to work on a zillion designs. And then, okay, now the designer who is senior designer, if he has a 2 trademark, then definitely we need to ban him. The first one could be considered as a coincidence or something. We can let that one go. But of course, his profile would still say that he had a trademark issue, so that other users or the clients can clearly see his profile as well, and it's up to them if they still want to pick his logo or not. So for the second time, if he comes up with a trademark issue, we would have no choice but to permanently ban that guy. If anyone has 2 warning and 2 trademark, of course, if you have 2 trademark, you will be banned anyway. So usually warnings are all about the ethical way of working, not the trademark. Following the policies, making sure you're sending the files in time, making sure you're not using any kind of offensive words with the clients, you're not being offended to, you're not offending any of your co-workers as well, other designers. And those are the kind of basically overall policies, how you need to work, how you need to use the system and platform. Those are the kind of things that comes under the warning. Trademark specifically deals with copied logos. Of course, trademark, if someone is copying the web or the brochure and everything, he will still be falling under the trademark. However, trademark is exclusively for the logos, but we cannot make a lot of different kind of, penalties. So it's like either warning or either trademark. Keeping one of the thing in mind that sometime, for example, if any of the designers working, a lot of designers are out there who are working with us for the past 4 years or 5 years, and they produce over 1,000 of logos, and they work with over 500 and 1,000 different contests. So of course they are at more risk because they're producing so much of the volume, and they're working with us for the past so many years. So there could be a chance that these guys may come up with a trademark issue. But we do have a forgiveness policy as well, where if someone's, and of course we encourage people to work more for us. So the idea is if someone wins, if someone gets a trademark in his profile after winning 10 contests, we can remove that. We can get rid of that one as well. But it doesn't really mean that every third month you win 10 and then score one trademark and get rid of that one. It's a kind of like you can go up to maybe 3. I need to double check this policy, but you could do it for up to 2 or 3 times afterward. We would not be forgiving anyone infringing. Moving on to just a couple of things where I would like to show quickly. There are a couple of tools here. For example, let me go back to Google. I just want to explain how should you check your work. However, there are like a lot of different websites. There are a lot of different ways to double check these things, but this one is the simplest one, and probably I think the best idea is before uploading the artwork, you guys should do this to make sure your logo is not already being done by another person. So what would I do is I would go to google.com, and probably I will go to let me go to the images first because that's what I need. Let me go to the images, and here what would I do is I already have this logo here. This is the logo. For example, this is the logo that I made. I want to make sure this is not copied by someone. So what would I do is the easy idea is I will drag and drop it here. Okay, and there you go. This is the logo. It's already on the internet. Okay, I can find that okay, this logo is already being used by another company, which means I definitely need to come up with the changes. The idea is Google image search work based on the colors as well, not just the drawing, the colors as well. So sometime what we have to do is, in order to find an idea, what we need to do is we might have to change the colors as well. For example, this one, I change it to gray. So what would I do is I'll drop it here in a gray color to double check if something else may exist or not, because I might not be able to find the same logo. So sometime it happens like this, that you might have to change it. Let me check the next page. I might find something. There you go. There's another logo similar. Probably I think these are the symbols being copied by 2 or 3 different designers, so there's no way that I'm going to be submitting this logo in any of the contests, because if it gets finalized, it means the QC team is going to be looking at the same thing you guys are looking. There's another kind of like application similar to Google. This does the reverse image search. You don't have to put in the keywords. Instead, similar to what I've done with the Google Images, I can simply upload this logo here. Let's see if it's able to figure out the same logo or not. So it will show us just in a minute. Wow, found so many different links. There are 3 of them, in fact 4 of them. So again, there is no way that I'm going to be using. So if you do not have a lot of time, and you do have a lot of work to do, these are the two things that you guys should do. Again, these follow up with the colors as well, so I suggest that you should change the colors to three different variations so that it's easy for you guys to make sure that this logo either is copied or not copied. If you find that this logo already exists, please do not upload. Again, as I said, the penalty goes to you, and it's a very small one. But when client gets a letter from the court, that's a whole different story. So we don't want people to get into the trouble um, just because they worked with us, or just because the designer did not, or the designer has been a bit careful with the kind of work that they were submitting. So we don't want any of those things. Now, one of the but probably few last things that I would really like to explain, these kind of logos, let me go back. The letter-based logos are really on a radar because there are only few possibilities or combinations that you can come up with. So the best idea is to use an idea. The best idea is one of the websites here. It's a wonderful website. I can post the URL in the chat, and this is for inspiration only. This websites give you a much better idea. So let me go to, if I'm designing any of the logo for a company, and client said that he would like to go with a logo type, or he would like to use initials in the logo, and I can just go on and find what kind of an industry they have and what kind of logo do they want. They have plenty of logos. Of course, it's for buying it. Remember, this is for inspiration. I'm not suggesting anyone to copy, anyone to use anything that's illegal. I don't want anyone to do those kind of things. I just want people to just get the inspiration and make sure their logo is not being used online by anyone else. So either if you want to pick one letter, you can go with that one. If you want to pick two letters, A plus something else, let's say for example A plus N. Let me click on N. So sorry, N plus. Let me go back just one moment. I click A plus 1, and then A plus A plus F, A plus I. There are a lot of variations now. You see, all of those letters are now combined with A to give you a better idea. So it offers you to go up to three alphabets connected together in a very creative manner. Again, these are the kind of symbols that we don't want you guys to use. This is kind of like overdone as well. Avoid these kind of logos, but just get a better idea of how you can connect those alphabets. But you need to be very, very, very careful. Whenever you do those kind of things, it's important. And if you've already done a logo and you want to make sure, I need to double check. Let's, for example, let me type in, it's simple. I can type in AB logo to check and see and make sure that this logo is not being used by anyone. I can do it before and after I'm done with the logos. This is important because you may not have any idea that, okay, might have produced something similar to this one. In the beginning of the research, you may not had an idea that, okay, you will end up with that one. But before uploading this logo onto the Zillion Designs or the Logo Design Guru, I strongly suggest that you should use all of those tools available in the market. And of course, those are all free. It's just that it requires some of your time, maybe 5 minutes or so on. So 5 minutes can save you guys from getting penalization and save our clients as well. So take a look at all those symbols and make sure it's not really looking similar to yours, and then upload this symbol using this feature here. Also use the TinEye as well. TinEye is really, it's a very small application, but it's really, really good as well. So these two, Google Images and TinEye, coupled with searching a logo using a phrase as well. If you do that much, I think it's sufficient. It's like good enough. It's a good start. And then make it a habit that whenever you are going to be submitting the logo, you need to make sure you will double check. It will take 2-3 minutes, not more than that one. But it's going to be saving everyone so much of the hassle that might come across afterwards. So probably this is it. And if anyone has any kind of question, any kind of confusion about anything or any other question related to trademark, they can probably type in on a chat, or maybe I can, enable the voice. I disable the voice. Reason being is, of course, there are a lot of people out there, so I don't want them to. I don't want a lot of noise. Sorry about that one. But if someone has any kind of questions, they can definitely type in the chat, or if they want to speak up, I can unmute them and they can speak up. Whatever works. Okay, so now Jason is smiling. Anyone with any kind of, okay, yeah, I can. Just give me one moment. There you go. It's a 10i.com. There are other sources where you guys can take some inspiration as well. Let me just quickly find some of them. I have a lot of okay. I'm going to be sharing a lot of different um, websites where this is just exclusively for the inspiration, not for the copying. You can just look at the lovely ideas they have over there. So I'm sharing it on the chat right now. Even look at 99 Designs. They have good sum of designs as well. I'm going to be pasting more than few URLs in the chat, so anyone who wants to take a look at some of the good logos. I think these are some really good websites where they can find a handful of logo designs and compare your work with those guys and try and adopt how, because the logos these days, they're not too heavy, they're very light with the minimum colors and very flat ones as well. 3D idea of having a Web 2.0 logos, that's kind of like gone. So these days, most of the time, you will find the logos that are pretty much simple, straight, with the fonts or so on. All of the logos that I'm looking here, they're pretty much like flat logos. You can see as well. You could go to those websites and you would definitely love to see the ideas that are being produced. So that's how you keep yourself up to date with the current design trends as well. It's important. If you are going to be isolating yourself, that okay, you will be working for 8 hours a day and you would not be going on and looking at other people's work, what they're doing, then definitely you will not be a trendy designer. You will probably stuck with what you have learned in the past. So in order to do so, just constantly go on, hit on different kind of keywords, go to different kind of websites, take a look at other people as well. That's how you learn. You learn from others. And the design industry, nobody can really say that, okay, he's a top designer. Believe it or not, because there are so many people coming up with so many different kind of ideas. And that's how we learn. We learn from others. And then it depends how much do we adopt. It's important for us that we are always open to learn more and more and more. That's how we, improve our skills as well, by looking at other people's work, not just copying. I'm saying looking and understanding the why this logo has been done that way. The way this 10i works, they do the reverse, reverse search. When you look at the logo, try and break into the meaning of that logo, that why this guy has added this particular symbol in this logo, how it connects to the industry type, how it connects to the business type, and so on. What is the business of the client. Go to their website and read through everything, and then look at the logo, how this business type is connecting with this particular logo. So that's how you will understand, and you will have a database of different symbols, different, for example, let's talk about any of the design elements. Anchor, okay, the ship anchor that they put into the water. Uh, Talk about that. There are certain things that have certain meanings. There are certain animals who represent certain things. So you guys need to understand what are those elements, how you can adapt to it, how you can add those design elements into your logos so that they look much better, more meaningful, more strong, and should deliver a powerful message as well. So I know you guys. I can see some of the attendees. These are some of them are really senior designers as well, and I know, of course, they know a lot about logos, and they've spent over 10 years, in the logo industry time. But I know as a person that they still learn more and more and more. If they stop doing it, it means they're not really working on their skills and everything. So thank you so much, guys, for joining me today, and it was really lovely to talk to you guys again. If anyone has any kind of question, you can either post now, or probably we do have a lot of other mediums. We have the emails, we have the phones, and we have a lot of other things. In fact, I'm going to be sending my personal email as well. If you guys do have, just one moment. Okay, this is my personal email. So, anytime, you guys do have any kind of issue, problem, any kind of directions that you guys are seeking, I'll be more than happy to help anyone out there. We are just a community, and we need to make sure that we help each other as well. So thank you so much for your time, and I hope that we will have more sessions like these. But of course, we will be covering different topics. Probably next month, we will announce this on our blog or somewhere. So if you guys do have any special requests that, okay, we should cover this particular topic, feel free to share this suggestion with us as well, so that we can work towards that particular thing. So thank you so much, everyone, and have a lovely rest of the day. Thank you. Bye.